Many years ago, I was at a church function. I was asked to speak at a church function. I was at the church function, and a woman, pulled me aside and she said she had lost her son. She said she had lost her son, 18 months old. And I will never forget this for the rest of my life. She said she had lost her son, 18 months old, and she was crying. And I just looked at her. I was holding her hand. She was telling me the story. And I said, "What is his name? What is his name?" I said, "What is his name?" And when I said, "What is his name?" she did this. It took her breath away. And I do that often. I did it often. Um, but I realized at that very moment that most of us are not asking our people or talking to our people about their griever, about their person. We don't talk about their person. For most of us, we go about every day, and when we hear that someone is grieving, we say, "I'm so sorry for your loss." What are they supposed to do with that? What is someone supposed to do with that? Okay, I'm glad you're sorry. Now, it's helpful, but really? So, I asked the name for a specific reason, Christine, because I want you to know that I see your person. I want you to know that I see you. We ask the name for a specific reason, to let you know that we see you, to honor your person today. That's why. That's how that came about. I will never, ever, ever be sad that that happened. I want to make sure you guys can see my screen. I'll never, ever be sad that that happened. And so honored to ask, because it makes it real for me too. When I know you lost Jim, it makes it real for me too. It puts me there. Friends, everybody, this is for everybody. You could simply ask somebody, "What is your person's name?" When they say, "Oh, my dad died 6 months ago." Oh, what was his name? Just ask them the name. It puts you in there with them. Okay, everybody. Today is Father's Day. Sundays with Sharon, and we're discussing Father's Day. Father's Day is complicated when you're grieving. And it gets even more layered when you're trying to support your children or your brothers and sisters as they're going through the grief. Today on this Sunday with Sharon, I want to talk about how to prepare for Father's Day, how you can prepare for Father's Day. When grief is sitting in the room with you, maybe your dad is gone. Maybe your children are grieving their father. Maybe your husband is gone. Maybe you lost your best friend. Maybe you lost your mom. I don't know where the grief is coming from, but here's what I know. Grief really sucks, and it gets down in there. This live is for you if you're having any challenges in this area. First, I'm going to start with how to help your children, and then we're going to talk about how to prepare for Father's Day. Ways to care for yourself, ways to care for yourself through it all, and how to navigate this day. That's where we're going today. And I want to welcome each and every one of you. My name is Sharon Brubaker, and I'm a grief specialist. And I want to start with how we talk to our children about grief. Hear me out. This doesn't have to be just little children. If this is your child and he's 28 years old, I still want you to use this. If this is your husband who's struggling over the loss of your child, you can still use this. This is how we should always talk to everyone about grief. Okay. Now I got to find it. That's not it. Okay. Whenever you're approaching either an adult child or a small child, whenever you're approaching someone and you want to talk about grief, I want you to do this. I want you to go first. These are the do's. You are going to go first. Go first, especially as the adult. You are the leader. So you're always going to go first. I'm going to get into a little bit more of what that's going to be like for you, but you may just walk into the room and say, hey, remember that time that Dad fell when he was taking out the trash and you and I were laughing so hard? I was thinking about that today. Tell a story. You're going first, and then you're going to add an emotional word on the end. I was thinking about that today, and I felt sad. An emotional word on the end. You're going to end it with an emotional word. You're going first. You're the adult in the room, so you're going first. You're going to tell the story, and then you're going to end it with an emotional word, and then you're just going to zip it. Why? Because I want to see what they tell you. They might just look at you like, why the heck did she just come in here and say that? That's okay. And you do that on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you might do it again. This especially works if you're having people that are not talking at all, especially small children. Hear me out. Why do I want to do this with small children? I want to do this with small children because you are their safe place to talk. You are their safe place to talk. You are the one where they're going to talk about their grief. We want them talking to you, even if it's hard for you to hear it. We want them talking to you. Okay, let me use this example again. We lost our child. We lost our daughter. My husband is not talking. You're going to do this. You're going to go first. You're going to talk. You're going to share a story. My husband's not showing up for me. You're going to do this. You're going to share a story. My 3-year-old, probably not your 3-year-old. My 5-year-old has not mentioned her dad's name in 3 weeks. You're going to do this. You're going to start bringing it up. You're going to go first. You're going to talk about it. Why? Because you're creating a safe place. Guess who else does that? Me. I do it. I create a safe place for you guys to come in and share. I create a safe place for you to talk. Do tell the truth. Always. We always tell the truth. We always tell the truth. You're going to go first. You're going to tell a story. You're going to end it in an emotion. And then you're going to tell the truth. We tell the truth about ourselves always. We tell the truth about our grief always. Tell the truth about your own grief and about how you feel. It will establish a tone of trust and make your child or your person feel safe in opening up about his or her own feelings. Tell the truth. Okay, I want to add a caveat to that. It is age-appropriate truth. We are telling age-appropriate truth. If my child is 5 and their father died by suicide, ooh, it's hard to say that in here. And that's the way they died. Watch me get dinged. Am I going to tell my 5-year-old? I don't know. Am I going to tell it on the first day? I don't know. It's up to you. Grievers have choices. Is a 5-year-old capable of handling exactly how it happened? It is up to you. So it's age appropriate. I'm going to give you a tip on that also. So you may actually say the words on a live. You may actually say that. I'm going to say that. And then you may, but it's the first word that I said. Two things. One, if you don't tell them that truth, they're going to hear it from somebody else in the room. There's a lot of people around. If you don't tell them, they are going to hear it from someone else. Recently, I had a beautiful couple, and they had a daughter that was 9 years old, and that their older son had unalived himself, and the They said to me, what do we do here? And I said, I can't tell you what to do. You have to decide. But here's what I can tell you. If you don't tell them, they are going to hear it. They're going to hear it in the room. And so they sat her down and they told her it was their choice, right? Age appropriateness. We want to tell them what is age appropriate, and we always tell the truth. Hear me out. I want to tell you that these two work together. When I go first and I tell a story about my person, when I bring up their dad and I tell a story about their dad and I tell it with the truth, it's going to cause them to ask you questions. Even if they're not telling their own story, they're going to ask you questions. And those questions will tell you exactly where they're struggling. The questions are going to tell you where your 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 28-year-old is struggling, because he's going to ask you questions. They work together. We must recognize, right? We must recognize that grief is emotional. Why is this important? Because grief takes place in our heart. Grief takes place in our heart. Our heart is broken. Your child's heart is broken. It's not in his brain. And a lot of what we're doing is we want to talk to the brain. We want to talk to our child's brain. Don't feel sad. Be glad that we had him so long. Recognize that grief is emotional. It is not intellectual. And that sad, fear, scared, broken, our feelings are normal. These feelings are normal. Avoid the trap of asking your child what's wrong. Hey, Susie, what's wrong? Are you feeling sad? Hey, Susie, what's going on? Do you feel mad? Avoid the trap of asking them what's wrong, because they're going to come out with the same answer every single time, and they're going to say nothing. Nothing. Nothing is wrong. Okay. Do listen with your heart, with your broken heart. Listen with your heart. Listen with your ears, not your brain. As the kid, your child is sitting there talking to you, sharing about their grief, pouring out their grief. This is what a lot of us do. We're trying to take 2 or 3 steps ahead of our child. We're trying to stay in front of them, and we're trying to figure out how to fix them. Stop it. They're not broken. They're grieving. When they are asking these questions, when they are telling their story, they get to say whatever they want, even if it's ugly, even if it's painful, and you have to accept it and listen to it. I hated Grandma. She was mean. She's telling her truth. My heart hurts that you feel that way. Why did you hate her? When was Grandma mean? Remember that each child is unique. They're all different. They're all different. Look, I got a boy who's 10. I have a girl who's 16. They're not going to grieve the same. Their relationship with Dad was different. Their relationship with dad was different. Look at this. Here's dad. Here's my 10-year-old son. Here's my 16-year-old daughter. They each loved dad. They each had a relationship with dad. But dad took Billy out to the ball game every Sunday. Dad was showing her how to go on dates. He was taking her on dates. And while they were on these monthly dates dad was taking her on, they had deep conversations. She had dad for longer than Billy did. Dad treated her different than he treated Billy. He's a little tougher on Billy. He's trying to help Billy become a man. Billy is mad about the last conversation that they had. And Billy is going to respond to his grief based on that. Yet we come in and we expect our 10-year-old son and our 16-year-old daughter to be exactly the same. It's not fair. It's not fair to them. It is not fair to them. And it's not fair to you. Okay. I feel like I missed one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I did. I didn't. Be patient. This takes time. Be patient. It takes time. It's not going to happen overnight. They are watching you and they don't know what to do. Okay. Hear me out. I started here for a specific reason because I know you guys are getting ready to have a conversation about Father's Day. So I wanted to talk to you about how to talk to your children. Okay. These are all the things you're going to do, and you're going to keep doing them. If you stay here and tell many, many stories, you're going to get them talking to you a lot. I promise you that. Okay, here's what we don't do. Here's what you're not going to do. You're not going to tell him, don't feel scared. This is very interesting. Most of us are freaking out on our grieving experience. We've lost our husband. We're absolutely freaking out. And fear is one of the things we feel. Yet we go and tell our children not to be scared. You're scared. You're normal. You're typical. You're human. But we go tell our children not to feel scared. Fear is a common response to grief. Fear is a common response to loss. Do not tell your children, don't feel sad. Come on. Don't feel sad? Don't feel sad. Sadness is a healthy response to loss, and it is a normal reaction. I want them to feel whatever they're feeling, just like I want you to feel whatever you're feeling. Sadness and fear are two of the most common feelings attached to grief, attached to a loss of any kind, attached to the loss of our fur baby, attached to the loss of our husbands, our spouses. It's normal to feel sad. It is essential for being human that we feel these emotions. Do not ask your children, how are you feeling? Because they are going to tell you the lie. Fine. I feel fine. I'm okay. Okay, number one, they don't know how they're feeling. You don't know how you're feeling. So don't do this. Instead, tell a story of how you're feeling. Tell how you're feeling. Talk about your sadness. Talk about your brokenness. Talk about how you went to the store and you saw Dad's favorite barbecue sauce. And how you got scared in the store and you ran out of the store. Tell them that. You are creating the safe place for them to come and share. Don't tell them to be strong. I had a client who lost her husband, who was a fireman. Every single fireman that came in there told her son to be strong. You got to be strong for your mom. You know, you're the man of the house now. He was 11 years old. I want to say this because every time there's a school shooting, the first thing we do is we run to the store and we make posters that say, Saugus strong, Florida strong, Allen strong, Las Vegas strong, Route 66 strong. What have you done when you do that? You're telling your kids to be strong. What we need to be saying is Saugus together, Florida together. We're telling them to be strong. Act like everything's fine. Act like everything is okay. On Father's Day this week, they are not going to be strong. We don't expect them to be strong. They have lost their father. They've lost their father. Don't compare. Don't compare their lives or situations to others in the world. Because all it does is minimize their emotions. Well, remember last year when you lost Boo Boo Kitty? This is just like that. And you feel fine, and we got a new cat. Come on. Don't compare their loss. Do not compare them to each other. Do not compare the boy who's 10 to the girl who's 16. The girl who's 16 can't stop crying. She can't stop talking about it. The 10-year-old's not talking about it at all. So you go to the 16-year-old, go, look at your brother. He's doing fine. I need you to be strong for your brother. If I tell you guys anything, this is the most important thing I'm going to tell you. Please, 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 do not make promises you can't keep. Do not tell your children, I will not die. Do not tell your children, you will not leave them. Do not tell your children, you will never get married. Do not tell your children, it's just us for the rest of our lives. Do not tell that lie, because you don't know God's plan. You don't know the plan of the universe. You do not know what's going to happen next. I absolutely grieved with a woman a few years ago whose mother died, and father promised her he would never leave her. And 1 year, exactly to the day, he dropped dead of a massive heart attack. And that, my friends, was the part of her grief. That was the part she was holding on to. And by all means, do not forget that they are smart. And they see right through your bullshit. They are extremely smart, and they're seeing right through the bullshit. There's nothing that you can do to cover this up. So just remember that. Okay, why did I go through this? Because we're going to be talking about Father's Day, right? We're going to be talking about how to prepare for Father's Day. But one of the things that we need to do before we prepare for Father's Day is that we need to talk to our children. We include our children in the plan. We include our children in the plan. Father's Day is going to be hard, and it's going to be a heavy day. And if you're not grieving for yourself, then you're also helping your children grieve and navigate through this grief. And this day becomes even more complex. So I wanted to open this up with sharing a story of my own dad. I was thinking about this. My dad died in 2013. And as I sit here today, and we're actually absolutely talking about this, I don't know what we did on the first Father's Day. I can't remember. I don't know. I honestly don't know. Since then, we often share about our dad. We share stories about our dad. There's 5 of us kids, and we'll do a text, and we'll share stories about him. Our dad was sick for a very long time, but I want to share this story with you where I really thought that he was my hero. I was 14 years old and I was in a store called Lucky's. It was a grocery store in California. And at that time, Lucky's was starting to sell clothing. And we were going camping. And my mother was buying all of the food for the camping trip. And I asked her if I could get, I didn't want to go on the trip. I was 14 years old. I was being 14. I was, I didn't want to go camping and be in dirt. I was being that little girl. And so I asked her if I could go look at the clothes. And she said, oh, yeah, that's a good idea. Why don't you get a bathing suit? Get a new bathing suit. Like she was trying to cheer me up and trying to get me going to this camping thing. So I went over to, and I found it was a brown and beige. It had beige that went across here, bathing suit. So I went in the dressing room and I tried it on. It looked good. And I had it in my hand. I came out of the dressing room with the bathing suit in my hand. I walked over and found my mom. And I showed her the bathing suit, however much it was. We put it in the cart. The cart was filled to the top. It was one of those $500 shopping trips. And just before we got out of there, a man came up to me and grabbed my arm. And he grabbed my arm and he pulled me away. This is what happened. When we went to the cash register to pay, there was no price tag on the bathing suit. And so the lady couldn't find the price tag. We didn't have the SKUs that we have now. So she said, Sharon, she didn't say Sharon because she don't know my name. She said, go over there and get me another bathing suit that is just like it with a tag on it so I can run it in the machine. So I went back to the clothing area. I grabbed the bathing suit and I was walking back. I was holding the bathing suit and I was walking back. And a guy came up to me and grabbed my arm. And when he came up to me and he grabbed my arm, he said, I saw you stick that bathing suit in your purse. And I was like, what? What are you talking about? He said, I'm undercover cop in the store here. And I saw you steal that bathing suit. I don't even have a purse. What are you talking about? And I yanked my arm out and I took off running. And I ran to my mom. Now, I'm 5'3", but I wasn't 5'3" then. My mother's only 4'11". And the guy was like, I saw your daughter steal this bathing suit. And my mother was so sharp at that point. She picked up her checkbook and she goes, you see this checkbook? I pay for every damn thing my kids have and that they need. I don't need to steal no bathing suit. And she walked out of the store. She left all her food and everything there. And we went home. And my dad was livid. And he was like, he looked at me, he goes, come on, get in the car. And we got in the car and we went back to the store. And as soon as he walked in, now let me tell you this, you guys. I was never so proud of my dad that he was really protecting me and taking care of me. My dad is 6'4". And he, at that time, was carrying easily 260 pounds. So he's this huge, big, massive guy. And he walks in the store because my mom did her groceries there every week. And soon as they saw her, the police officer and the store manager came running to my dad as soon as they saw him. And my dad said, who's the manager here? And he said, I am. And he just laid into him. And the police officer kept trying to interrupt and share his story. And my dad he was short. So my dad was looking down on him. And he's like, I'm not ready for you yet. And he just went through the manager. He's like, I come in the store. I spent thousands of dollars in here. How dare you treat people like this? My daughter hadn't even got out of the store. How did you know she was stealing? What is going on? Blah, 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 the whole thing. And the whole time he's holding my hand. And I'm looking up at him. And finally, when he was done with the manager, he looks at the police officer. He goes, if you ever put your hand on any of my family members again, I will come back to the store and I promise you, I will take care of you personally myself. And we walked out of the store and something like that. I made that up. I was 14. I don't know. It was something. But I remember him saying, if you ever put hands on my family. And we're walking out of the store and I'm holding his hand. And he's smiling because he was like, yeah, I protected my family today. And he looked down at me and he goes, I guess we told them. I guess we told them. And I was absolutely proud. It was a proud moment for me and my dad. I was thinking about a story to share with you guys. There's other stories, but that's one where it was he just really stood up for his family. He protected me. I felt protected. I felt secure. I felt safe. We tell stories about our husbands. We tell stories about our dads. We tell stories about our mothers, and we add an emotional word to it. We tell the stories to bring people in so they understand who our person was. Today's teaching is about a subject that many of us are wrestling with. And it's, what am I going to do for Father's Day? How am I going to honor this big hero that I had? Maybe your story is not that your dad wasn't a hero. Maybe your dad was an alcoholic. Maybe your dad lived on Skid Row. Maybe your dad was a drunk. Maybe your dad beat your mom every day of your life. All stories are not perfect. They're not all beautiful and perfect. I get that. I absolutely get that. But maybe today you're grieving your father. Maybe he left. Maybe he's distant. Maybe he's just unreliable. Maybe he's been harmful. Whatever your story is, next Sunday is going to be hard. Maybe the loss is your child, who is also a father. And let's be honest, it's not only going to be hard for your children, it's also going to be hard for you. It's going to be hard for everybody in the room, especially if this is your first Father's Day, especially if this is your third Father's Day. It doesn't matter which Father's Day it is, this can be really hard for you. You're trying to protect your children. You don't want them to feel this pain, but you're going in the store. It's all the grads and dads. Listen, going to the graduations and knowing that there's all these graduations and dad not being here is hard. You're trying to protect them. You're trying to nurture them. You're trying to give them the language that they need to process this grief. You're trying to show up strong for them. You're trying to be sensitive. You're trying to be honest and supportive. So here are 10 ways that I have where you can include your children. Friends, it is important that you include your children in the planning of Father's Day. Let me say that again. It is important that you include your children in the planning of Father's Day. Make a new memory of an old place. And this is huge. Did you and your husband and your family always go out to Wingstop? Does he love wings? Maybe that's the plan. Maybe you go to an old place that you haven't been to in a while and you celebrate that way. There's something powerful about going back to a place that meant something. Maybe you go to a beach that you haven't been to in a long time, but you do it differently. Maybe it's about recreating something from the past. Maybe it's about making space in that for new memories, erasing the old ones that once lived there. Maybe you're going to go to the beach. Maybe you're going to go to a camping spot. Maybe you pick an old spot that you guys used to go to. Maybe you go to your old neighborhood and you go to your old neighborhood park. One year, we all went to the Dodger game for my dad. My dad loved the Dodgers, you guys. He loved the Dodgers. And so we decided to honor him. We were going to go to this Dodger game. And my entire family, as a matter of fact, when you see the pictures, I have these pictures of it. I'm in a suit because I came from work. And so we got the $10 tickets, which were up in the nosebleed section. But the $10 tickets up in the nosebleed section also included, you got hot dogs, nachos, unlimited hot dogs, nachos, and drinks. And so that's what we did. We all went there. We all met after work. We just met exactly at our seats. It's open seating in that section. And we all just met right there. It's like a bleachers at the top. It's like a bleacher. And we all just met right there. And my nephew came up to me. Put his hand in his pocket, and he opened his hand, and my dad gave him a rosary. He's like, look what I brought. And he showed me the rosary. We were there with our nieces, with our nephews. My children were there. The food was great. We were honoring our dad. It was the first or second year after he died. My heart was heavy, but also filled with love. We went back to an old place. My dad used to take us to Dodger games all the time. So we as a family went back to an old place. So maybe make a memory of an old place. Ask yourself, what old place can I do? Can I revitalize? Ask them, where's somewhere we can go? Be mindful. I want you guys to be mindful that Father's Day is being taught in school. It's going to be celebrated at church. If you think you're going to get by this Father's Day without talking to your kids about it, you are wrong. You are absolutely wrong. They're talking about it in school. They're talking about it in church. It's in every grocery store. They have crafts. They've done tiny cards. They're taking their picture. I have a set of twins that are here. The other day I was in the kitchen and my granddaughter said to me, she picked up a book and she said, let's do this for Mother's Day. Mother's Day. She knows about Mother's Day. They made a big deal about Mother's Day in her school. This just happened, like, let's say last Tuesday. They know about it. She's 3. They know. Melissa said, what is his name so we can honor him? Thank you, Melissa. Yes, absolutely. Austin. Oh, my dad's is Tony. My dad's name is Tony. My husband's name is Tony. My dad's name is Tony. Okay, we have little landmines all throughout the way. They're at school. They're at churches. They're asked to make Father's Day cards. They're being asked to make things for their father. Okay, I'm going to handle that. Okay, I'm going to give you some. One Sunday, you can pick your kids up from Sunday school, and everybody was making a Father's Day card. So ask ahead. It is okay for you to skip certain events. Your child doesn't have to go to Kids Kingdom if you know they're making Father's Day cards and it will be too hard for him. You need to prepare them. You need to prepare them. The other thing I want you to do is, let me see, I handle it. I talk about it. Okay. Yeah, I talk about it a little bit at the end, so I'm not going to go into it now. Perfect. I want you to be ahead on that. Next, you can be blindsided on Father's Day, so be prepared. If you're going to be blindsided, your child sure is going to be blindsided. We're allowed to protect our children from emotional harm. We are allowed to protect our children from emotional harm. They don't have to do the Father's Day gift. Now, can they do the heavenly Father's Day card? Yes, they can. And maybe that's a new tradition you want to start. Maybe they're going to do the heavenly Father's Day card. Maybe they're going to make the card to their grandfather, to Pop, to another man of importance in their life. Maybe they're going to make the card to their brother. Maybe they're going to make it to themselves, or maybe they're going to make it to you. Plan a meaningful family outing. You are still a family. Plan a family event. Plan a family event. You are still a family. Yes, Dad is no longer here with us, but we are still a family. I want you calling it a family event. Don't be afraid to plan a day that's just about you and them. Maybe you're going to take them to the spa. Maybe you guys are going to go get massages. Maybe you have 2 little girls and you're going to go get your nails done. It doesn't have to be grief-centered. It can be light. It can be joyful. It can be quiet. It can be adventurous. Let them help you plan it. Ask them questions like this. Everybody, I'm going to put these notes today in the Facebook group. The Facebook group is the Grief School. I'm going to leave these notes in there so you guys can see them. You're going to ask them, what would feel good to do on Sunday? What would feel good for us to do as a family event? Is there somewhere that we want to go? Is there somewhere we haven't been in a long time? Or maybe we want to plan a a staycation and stay home in our pajamas and do our nails. Throw out some ideas. Have them join in on the ideas. Remember, you're going to continue talking about the hard parts. What does that mean? Talk about the hard parts in this way. Tell your story. Add your emotional word on the end. Tell your story. Add it on to the end. You don't have to force big conversation. A simple memory that you share with an emotional word on the end. I don't want you asking them, how does Father's Day feel for you this year? I don't care if they're 28 or 7. I want you to say, hey, I'm feeling this way about Father's Day this year. Share how you're feeling. You go first. You tell the truth. You bring it out from your heart. And when you share it, they are going to share. Why? You are creating your safe place. Once you share how you're feeling, then they share how they're feeling. Hey, is there anything we can do to remember Dad? What are we going to do as a family? Is there anything we'd rather not do? I cannot go to Baskin Robbins. Dad loved Baskin Robbins. We went there all the time. I am not doing that. Even if they do this, I don't know. Give them permission to be real. Give them permission to allow it. Give them permission to be there right now because they are hearing you. Remember, they're smart. Here, we're going to keep telling stories. Tell stories about Dad. I'm a big writer, and you guys give me big paper, and then I write it more. I'll go over them again. Tell stories about Dad and end it in an emotional word. Now, one of the things you may want to do, especially if you haven't done it in a long time or you have never done it at all, is visit the grave. This can be with the kids or without the kids. It can be with flowers or without flowers, whatever you need to do. There's no one size that fits all. You can choose not to go to the gravesite. You can go there by yourself. You can walk silently. You can bring flowers. You can talk. You can celebrate. You can cry. You can sit in your car and just stare at the space. One of the things that I do is I do not that I don't, but my dad's in California. I'm in Texas now. My dad's buried in California. I don't go to the gravesite. He and I had an actual conversation. My brother does to represent all of us. And my brother will go on Sunday, put the flowers, and then send us pictures. But if I'm in California, I don't necessarily visit the gravesite because my dad and I had a conversation about that. And he's like, give me my love and my flowers now. And I'm telling you, you do not need to come. And I feel absolutely okay. If you get to the gravesite and they're running around on the grave, let them do that. That might be their grief energy having to come out. If they sit down and cry, let them do that. Starting out at the gravesite and getting some of the emotional energy out might be the perfect family event for you. I don't know. You guys have to decide. Give them something tangible to remember the day by. Give them a bracelet. Give them something of Dad's that you've been meaning to give them, but you haven't given them yet. Give them one of Dad's shirts. All of you wear one of Dad's shirts. Give them a journal to write letters to him in. Give them a stuffed animal made out of his shirt. Take one of their stuffed animals and spray cologne on it and give it that. Give them a bottle of Dad's favorite cologne, the smell that they will know. Give them a picture frame with Dad's picture, the picture of the two of them in it. Give them one of Dad's keychains. Give them Dad's house key. Give them something that you haven't given them yet. Give them something to remember the day by. Together, you guys can look through photos and maybe make a photo page. Maybe you're going to look at videos if you can. Some of us can't do this yet. But if you can, if that's what they want to do, kids tend to struggle as we adults with visual memory, but sometimes that's where they want to go. They really need that. So be open to it if they need that. Help them lean on their heavenly Father. Their Father is in heaven. Though I don't want you telling them that in the beginning, if they have a heavenly relationship, I call it a spiritual relationship. So if they have a spiritual relationship with their Father, you have a spiritual relationship with your husband, lean in on that. Lean in on that. Now, if you're extremely religious and you want to lean in on prayer and God, by all means, do it. If they feel comfortable, if they're not resisting it, by all means, do it. One of the other things, and I touched on this earlier, and I want to touch on this again, and this is my last one. Is other men in their life. Who are the other men in their life? Not to replace the loss, but that they can also lean into. You may have a brother and you can ask him, hey, I want to know if you can get dialed in with Bobby right now. He's really struggling. Can you help Bobby right now? Can you be a big brother to Bobby right now? He really needs help. You might tap the shoulder of someone who is also grieving and ask them to take over or lean into your child. I said, give them something. I said, photos. Look at photo albums. Hold on. I'm missing one. Oh, it was the spiritual. God or spiritual, right? I'm not sure how you guys are going to call it. Okay, I'm going to go over these real quick and then I'm going to go on to you. These are things for you helping your children. It's 10 tips for helping your children for Father's Day. Go to an old place and make new memories there. Go take that train ride at the park that you guys used to take them to when they were smaller. Go there. Hang out at that park. Be mindful that school and church is talking about Father's Day. It is okay for them to miss school. It's okay for them to skip out on the relationship, on the project, on the relationship. Plan a family event. You still have a family. You are still part of a family. Plan this event and call it a family event. Continue calling yourself a family. Your family is not broken. It's different. Continue calling it a family. Talk about the hard parts of grief. Talk about the funeral. Talk about the thing that Aunt Susie said at the funeral that's making you mad. Tell stories about Dad and end it in an emotional word. An emotional feeling that you're having. It is absolutely okay to visit the grave. It's absolutely okay to not visit the grave. Give them something of Dad. Give them something tangible. Look at photos or videos. Go spiritual if you need to, if that's where you are. Maybe you're going to do something that's spiritual. And remember to tap the shoulders of other men. An uncle, a coach, a grandfather, a stepfather, a family friend that you feel safe with and they feel safe with. Ask them to step in, right? Someone said, my dad loved hunting, maybe shooting guns in his honor. My dad left my son his favorite shotgun. I love that, Christine. I absolutely love that. I absolutely love that. Okay. Father's Day doesn't have to be beautiful. It doesn't have to be perfect. Father's Day doesn't have to be beautiful. It doesn't have to be perfect. It can be ugly. It can be grief-filled. It can be crying. It can be the ugly cry. It can be snot running down your nose. Do not try to make it this and not that. Oh, I'm going to make it perfect. I'm going to make it awesome. It's my kid's first holiday. I'm going to make this so awesome, so perfect, and so beautiful. Do not try and make it this and not that. This is the grief. I'm going to try to make it not greedy. Don't do that. Don't purposely try to make it this and not that. Let it be whatever it's going to be. Let it be true. Let it be honest. Let it be. Father's Day doesn't have to be beautiful. It just has to be true. You are doing better than you think. Your children are grieving in the safety of your presence. And you are allowed to be human. You're allowed to be human through all of it. What about honoring your father? What about honoring your father your way? All of those examples still apply. Maybe you're the child. Maybe you're the child. So I want to look at this. I want to look at it from your eyes. It's still the same. You still may go to an old place. She said his dad left the guns. We're going to go shooting. It's an amazing thing that we do all the time. We're going to make a new memory out of an old place. I'm going to make a new memory out of an old place. Maybe my dad and I would go to Taco Bell and we would get tacos. We would get 10 tacos and we would sit and share them. That's me. We would get 10 tacos and we would sit and share them in the park. Maybe I'm going to tell my kids about that and I'm going to go to that park and we're going to get tacos. I'm helping my kids. I'm doing it for me. Maybe you don't have children. Maybe this is just you and you're still going to go get the tacos. Father's Day might feel like a wound, but it can also be an invitation to slow down and remember your dad. Slow down, remember the grief. Slow down, feel the emotional pain. Create a new tradition in an old place. This is you now. Be mindful of school and church. You might not be in school, but you need to be mindful of work, school, and church. They are going to celebrate Dad next Sunday. They are going to celebrate the dads next Sunday. Every scripture is going to be about Dad. Everything. People at work are going to be talking about Father's Day. Plan a family event. Maybe it's just you. Maybe your husband died. Maybe you don't have children. You're still now the family. You are still a family of one. And that sounds extremely lonely. And I understand that. But maybe you're going to join your family with another family. Maybe you're going to find someone else who is celebrating and go and join with them. Right? Talk about the parts that are hard. Come to Grief Study Hall on Tuesday. Talk about the parts that are hard. In Grief Study Hall on Tuesday, we're going to be talking about death and died. What is death and died? That's what we're going to be talking about on Tuesday. But I'm also going to be touching on Father's Day again. We go to his favorite ice cream and we get butter pecan from Superior Dairy Ice Cream. I love it. My son Trenton can't go to his site. Then don't take him. Then don't take him. Maybe you come and pick Trenton up after that. Maybe you pick Trenton up right after that. Okay, I'm still talking about you. Tell stories. Tell stories to your girlfriend who will listen. Tell stories in your grief group. Maybe you visit the grave by yourself. Maybe you visit the grave by yourself. Maybe you wear something of his that day. Maybe you wear a shirt of his. Maybe you take one of his shirts and you have the sides taken in so it fits you. And you wear that on that day. Maybe you wear his favorite dress that he loves seeing you in. Maybe you spray his cologne on your clothes so you can smell it. Maybe you shower in his Old Spice. Right? Okay, friends. My name is Sharon Brubaker, and I'm the owner of the Grieve School. I've given you a lot of ideas, looking at the photos, doing your spiritual. Maybe you lean into other men. That sounds terrible. Maybe you go with your brother and you hang out with your brother and you talk about your husband. Maybe your dad is still alive and your husband has passed. Maybe you hang out with your dad and you tell stories of your husband. Maybe you find some of his best friends and you talk to them. I want to quickly go over something with you guys. Hold on. My name is Sharon Brubaker, and I'm a grief specialist. I teach an educational program on grief and loss. Today was a Sunday with Sharon, where I was absolutely teaching about Father's Day, helping your kids through Father's Day and helping yourself through Father's Day. And I want to say what an honor it has been to be here with you today. All right. Here's a couple of things about myself if you don't know me. And if you're with me, here's some things I want you to know. Tonight, my sister Erica Honore, the mother of Donovan and Austin, who died in 2006 and 2015, she'll be doing a question and answer session tonight on her personal Facebook page, which is Erica P. Honore. You can find it there. If you go to the link in the bio, if you click on the link that says Beacons AI, the Grief School, or if you're in TikTok, click on the link that says click here for hope. And you click there, you'll be able to find the link to Erica. This week, on Tuesday, I'm going to be live at 10 a.m. I'm going to be live at 11 a.m. on Wednesday, Thursday 11 a.m., Saturday 7 a.m. Those are my lives. Central Standard Time. Grief School is Tuesday from 1 to 3. Central Standard Time this week. VIP group. Our VIP Honor Society is Thursday from 4 to 6. Be honored to have you there. You have to be a member of Processing the Pain of Grief, the program. You can find the link in my bio in order to be a part of this group. It's a VIP group. I want you guys looking for next week. I'm launching the Emotional Reset, where I'm going to teach you how to reset your emotions, what emotions are, why do they make a big difference in our life, why are we resisting our emotions, how is it that we do not know how to use our emotions. I'm going to be teaching from the emotional compass. The emotional compass. And I want you looking for, here's what's coming up. In July is my Grief Intensive. Eric and I are going back for the first time since COVID to teaching in person. We're launching our Grief Intensive again. It will be myself and Erica, the Grief School Intensive. It's going to be an intensive. It is not a retreat. I'm not bringing sound bowls. I'm not going to massage you. We're going to do the action steps that are needed to go into the grief. And we're going to do the much needed grief work. And that's going to be July 24th to the 28th in Dallas. And there'll be more information about that to come. I want to say thank you to each and every one of you. Thank you for allowing me to be here. Thank you for holding my space. Thank you for allowing me to hold your space. I will see you all on Tuesday at 11 a.m. I love you, friends. Thank you. Okay, TikTok. Let me see.